Yo. Bus it? This one's going out to Coach Shelton, great friend of ours for years now. This is concerning a Asha Degree case, however we're going cover a few things. And this more personal coach for you in a few subs so far who might be interested. We're even being careful how we title it cause we're not trying to draw people with no idea who we are nor our history. But before we get into that, big thank you coach, we got it and we got some things we gon' talk which about later. We're also gon' get into the bully stuff. But we been building platforms due to this whole big tech censorship stuff. Places where if we want to talk about a election or virus we can talk about a election or virus. But you're a major player coach and we've gotta do a video about it and why it matters. You know way more about us than most anyway, but we're definitely gon' get into it. Now for those who don't know, Asha Degree's a girl who vanished over 20 years ago. Seems the case is still being talked about. Personally we just discovered it through coach. The rest for those who'll listen will be common sense. Nevertheless we talk about this being deep coach. There's so many missing reports we don't look into cases less someone like you we personally know and have great respect for requests it. When we had a 10 players news site opened it was nothing like the channel. We were foot soldiers having fun. We stopped the pro gambling and we cracked shit. And a lot of motherfuckers wanted us dead cause cracking shit was a fucking problem. We touched on this witcha in a past coach cause we knew one another long before super chat and donation buttons were all over the place and personally felt you deserve to be funded. Especially after our investigations on where money in non-profit organizations went when a site was open. Anyway we closed that sector. We was getting a rep and shit wasn't normal. Like there's not a lot of media walking around strapped looking like black ops. Had a history in a fight game so he stuck with that for a bit with a gambling section on a site then ended up shutting down a whole thing. Most don't know this but we actually came to YouTube by request to talk betting on fights. Last thing we expected was a bunch of kitty like trolling fanboys. On our site we was used to real men and women plays and money on a table. Not a bunch of trolling fanboys that gossip. Tito was the last better we knew but he never went public with it. But from where we came from the fanboy behavior was freaky. However it's not a fight game thing. Virtually all of YouTube does this weird stuff. We was used to our own site so YouTube was corny for us back then. Just a behavior. And there's a point to this. Someone you don't know. We as a people are more connected than most know. Masses that can't behave themselves disrupt productivity all the time. And most human beings can't take the truth. Due to this there's a lot of stuff we don't release. Especially after we observe behavior. Yeah we know you know that part. Vacha don't knows one of sexy specialties is photography. She's done everything from weddings to New York and Paris fashion runway shows, gallery exhibitions to warring crime scenes, coroner included. So when you requested we do a video on a Kanika Jenkins case. Sexy refused to observe the photos till she could see clean shots. Once trouble got her the clean shots she was baffled at the semi-pro camera they used. Nevertheless she half cracked the case in under a minute. No joke coach. Literally under a minute. She walked out the room nonchalantly telling us how Kanika got in that position. We said half cracked cause first you gotta examine and see if there was foul play. If not it's an accident, case closed. If so new case half solved. Next half's figuring out who's the culprit. MTV was incorrect. This ain't like predicting a Super Bowl, the event's already done with the evidence available. There's a reason all of this is dirty and this part of the jacket's not. And we not gon' break down what this means cause it'll just open up a can of worms. And there's a lot of cans we don't open. But what we know about this jacket the rest of the world looking in a wrong place can't see. Would start a whole bunch of shit and rehatch this case again. Shiz a solid fact blatantly front of everyone's face no one sees. All clock in a wrong thing while trying to get some kind of big shot case solving credit. Most these people care nothing about a. One of the many reasons we don't reveal ourselves is there's shit we do that needs to be done and we not looking for no credit. We wanna walk through our local mall like a normal person in peace without people pointing. But that's why we say only a pure heart can read the walls. We can't even say anything more coach cause if by chance the wrong ones see this video they'll run make a damn video. And we ain't even break it down nor we gonna. Yet they try and figure out what that means like a fucking puzzle. But you can watch anything you can find on a case 1,000 hours of theories. Guarantee under a minute you'll know without a doubt what we'd say in that under a minute breakdown's an undeniable fact. Someone we wanted to tell ya cause you requested it, but motherfuckers was acting up too badly coach. And a reason we dropped a few videos never sayin' nothing was a observed behavior. Sadly behavior was disgusting. So many people trying to make money off Kanika's death shit was unbelievable. People still making videos. Like we'd never put Kanika name in this video, we cool get in 4-5 hits. We seen so many channels lion plagiarize lion claim they figured this and that out, all milk the money. If we woulda broke it down, people really woulda went crazy. All types of people woulda came out the woodworks, plagiarized this easy peasy truth in front of everyone's face, no one sees, then claimed they came up with it. They woulda made a shitload of money, attorneys woulda used it in a court of law and made a shitload of cash, meanwhile the ones who really woulda solved it wouldn't have made a dime. And they'd do it right now if we put a 2-minute breakdown up. This video probably get 10 hits, we cool, this one's personal, next one may not be. Cause we wasn't and still ain't trying to make no money off it. You can do the greatest visual video on a planet, Mo's ain't gon' give a shit these days. But that one gon' go viral well over 1 million cause they gon' share. Too many gon' be baffled. Then a disgusting one's gon' follow. See bus it, coach. Just gon' play you summon we heard the other day looking at some Red Glove streams while we was out.
Like an interesting post earlier, somebody saying, you know, if you say that, basically saying that anybody who says Spence is running from Crawford is, why don't you just admit that you hate him? I hate seeing shit like that.
So do we, Red. So do we. See that motherfucker kicking that shit, a Red Glove probably got no idea where in a fuck the line he's running derived, but he probably got it from DBN. But it came from us. You was their coach, so you know. When Mayweather fought Canelo, we told dudes in a prediction, just say you hate the motherfucker. That's where that started online. Even Red Glove don't know. Shout out to Red, though he probably don't know he even got this channel. Nevertheless, sadly someone else using it for their own agenda, which got nothing to do with why we said it. That's why we said motherfuckers gon' take shit and flip it to what they want. But it comes from a real life altercation in a meeting with a group playing like they wanted to chop it up, but we knew they wanted to snuff us. They beatin' round a bush, so he dropped our nuts and gets on a table and said, just say you wanna kill us and let's fucking die. They tryna slowly push till we do something where they can legally get away with fire, and we just said fuck all that fucking crap, let's blast. And not cause we bad asses, we gon' die anyway in that situation, so we gon' commit. That's why we got out of that field. And played the ultimate psychological game, making all our enemies our homies. Help a enemy with a aching passion, he'll flip and call ya every New Year's Day a skin if you got any problems you need 'em dealin' with. Meanwhile you got pipsqueaks on YouTube plagiarizing shit, not even knowing where the fuck it originated. None of them know. But this why we very careful about what we say. Shit's not a boxin' thing, all of YouTube does it, been going on for ages. Edison'll take Tesla's work in a minute. People just take crap. We just used that example cause you was there back then, coach. So sexy wasn't gon' help a bunch of parasites get rich off her under a minute insight she's specialized and trained in. These people so disgusting, coach, not only would they make a shitload off of Kanika's death, but they wouldn't even pay homage nor say thank you for solving it. Same way not a single one of them motherfuckers ever paid homage for our lines they run. So what's this gotta do with Asha Degree? We could probably crack it if we looked into it. We never heard of his case till you mentioned it and cut it after just looking at a couple of videos on it. We only seen one video of the mother was too badly edited and they wouldn't keep the camera on it for more than 2 seconds, so he couldn't read the body language, but there's no eye contact. If you observed side-by-side footage of corresponding cases, you'll find they all have a certain body language that's not in the footage we saw. But we don't want to judge cause like we said they kept cutting away and wouldn't keep the camera on it for more than 2 seconds. With access to raw data this would be easy. Editing means people showing you what they want you seeing. The answers usually lie in what you're not. But what we find deep about it is a truth most'll be offended by. So we gotta be careful. Cause most people ain't ready for truth. Kids are very stupid. Yet the irony's they're more capable than people think. They're what they're programmed to be. They're capable of much more in a proper company. When I was 7, coach, I spent time round a bunch of grown men. Body workin' fightin's what half the dudes in my family did. Men like that want you to be a lil man. They get a kick out of it. So they let me sand shit and wet sand that. Just lil shit. By the time I was 9 they was paying me for knocking out dents and prepping cars for paint. They very easily coulda said get the fuck out of here kid and go play with your friends. They taught me safety, how to not fuck up with air tools, told stories of compressors poppin' shit going through motherfuckers like a bullet, betcha ass I took it seriously. And obviously I woulda had none of those skills at 9 if they said go play kid. So the questions who's doing a programming. Cause as the ultimate cause. And this some people don't wanna hear. Naturally, if a car mounts the sidewalk and kills a child, that's not the child's programmer's fault. If a meteor falls from the sky and lands on a child, that's not the programmer's fault, but for most situations outside these kinda rare occasions it is. When I was a kid younger than this child, a guy pulled up while I was walking down a street 2 blocks from my crib. Slim white guy, long black hair. Fact he was even in that neighborhood was weird, but hey, perhaps he just driving through right. Then he asked me where the boulevard was. I told him 3 blocks straight up. He thanked me, then asked if I needed a lift. My mind went a fuck off. Kidnapper, killer, don't trust beast, along with what a do Casey got out the car, all going through my head. My programmers taught me that. Hadn't not a guy pull up in a van, open a back it up, shit was full of puppies. Naturally, as a kid I was intrigued with the puppies. Yet and still wasn't going nowhere near that fucking van. Shiz also how I got my first dog, cause when I went to ask my mud about it, he left the puppy and drove off. Obviously he wasn't trying to kidnap me like the other dude talking about you need a lift, but a point being, coach, every person's child gonna have a bad fate if they don't get the programming right. I was younger than Asha, not to mention a boy, and no way in hell was I gon' ever try and go on a adventure in the middle of the night. Here's a girl trying to sell pens on a street for food. She refuses to let him give her the money out of honor. Telling him keep the pens he bought him. She's less than half Asha's age. Acting like a woman in a under 5-year-old body. How a 9-year-old wouldn't know any better's incomprehensible. Certainly mental neglect from her programmers. This one trying to meet some underage boy from online. Those troll pictures you used to put up's no joke, coach. This how most of these trolls and sex offenders really look. We know personally, coach, we've checked out shitloads of these motherfuckers who think you can't find them cause they got a ghost account. Oh, we can find them. Lot of them's pedophiles and they'll kill a child in a flash cause there's walking evidence. So stamp that shit in yo kid's head, the kid'll remember. I did. See, if one's child becomes a killer, the parent had nothing to do with it. How that boy came out that way, they've no idea, not their fault. Yet if he becomes a brilliant successful doctor, oh lordy, they done did such good job raising that boy. If parents gon' be responsible when it's good, they gotta do the same when it's bad. Often we look at the child and culprit. But the public's gotta start questioning the programmers. Cause there's no reason a 9-year-old should think they're gonna go on a fantasy adventure. You're too old for that at that point. Sadly, most people are unaware that child's picking up programming long before it speaks. Shiz often difficult for teachers cause they gotta unprogram what the parents consistently programming at home. And they usually have no psychological knowledge, so the teacher just thinks it's a slow kid. And this the part most parents don't wanna hear. But a parent that learns how the mind works can develop brilliant kids easily who actually love being brilliant. So basically we agree with everything you said in your video, coach. We not accusing no one of nothing. But things this, coach. We can pretty much guarantee if that was any of ours kid, she'd be alive in our face right now. People gon' do shit. If they run in a street, someone gon' hit 'em. And if they stroll out the house in the middle of the night, someone gon' take 'em. Though this girl strolling out the house in bad weather in the middle of the night makes you wonder why. Without a jacket with the items she had. Sounds like someone gotta. So he gon' exit saying this. One of 3 things happened to Asha. For one, you said a trucker asked her if she was okay and she ran off in the woods. We're curious as to whether or not he was in a truck when he did. So this indicates she simply wouldn't roll with a average stranger, though a truck can be more intimidating than a car if he was in a truck. So the one of 3 things is this. A stranger grabbed Asha. And these pedos know when they looking at a prize for their twisted mentality. They clockin' kids in a right circumstances where they can grab one and get away with it 24/7. So a stranger gotta. Or the other 2 circumstances is someone she was in communication with and trusted gotta. Now there's a reason someone she was in communication with getting a would be 2 different circumstances. And the 2 different circumstances is this. They either killed her. Or told her she can live with him happily ever after and she lived a full life never communicating with her parents again and don't wanna. Let's just say the last one, Slim. However, as a kid, I knew a girl who lived 2 houses down. She had an abusive father and wanted to run away. Not sexually abusive nor a threat to the girl's life. Just physically abusive. Strict dude. And up to the point a shit was difficult bearing. Most people in a neighborhood didn't know. So the girl's friend in school told her she can come live with her. The girl's father took her out for the entire day. Felt her up. Might have done more, who knows. Then dropped her back in front of her house. Told her not to tell. Point Bane, coach. Is that kind of situation happens all the time where the child's not so fortunate. And if that man's daughter wasn't friends with her, she probably wouldn't have been dropped off back home. Nor'd she ever tell till she was a grown woman. So we'd say Asha was grabbed up. Or went with someone she trusted. And we think she went to meet someone she trusted. Knew but didn't know well. It's one of the three. And we doubt it's the third. So respect you, coach. Thanks again. And until our next one. Peace. We out.
How old was this guy today?
14.
So you were gonna have sex with a 14-year-old. What about a 12-year-old? What about a 10-year-old?
Okay, that's all wrong.
It's all wrong.
Yeah.
How young does it go with you, Matt?
It doesn't go young. I stopped.